Hello everybody, Dr. Rick here. Ramble alert. I'm not sure exactly where I'm going with this, but I definitely need to get it off of my chest. Those who have followed me on the many platforms or read books that I've written or articles are familiar with my story. I was reared by my great-grandparents, which happens to be my mother's grandparents. I was adopted and reared by them from 9 months. And sometimes you may get the indication that because my father was absent, never met him, first time I saw him was at his wake, you might get the impression that my mom wasn't. I was reared by my grandparents, but my mother was constantly around. And I was around her. She made herself available, but you gotta understand, she was a child that had a child. She was only 15 when she had me. And so she was more like a big sister in the way that she dealt with me. She never really disciplined me. She was cool to go stay with during the summer because all the rules that applied at home didn't apply. Stay up late, go where I want to without asking, all kind of different stuff. Nothing outlandish or crazy, but just a lot less strict than people born in 1909 and 1917. Well, with all the complicated dynamics of our family, and they are quite complicated, I lost my mom last night. Still processing it, still trying to get to it. Something I've been trying to prepare myself for, because she's been suffering with dementia for almost 6 years now. It's been a long battle. More concerned about a couple of siblings. Again, these relationships are dynamic, and obviously I'm not putting their business out there. What you know about me is what I felt comfortable sharing. The good thing is me and my mom never had bad blood. The things I needed to share with her, I shared with her. The things we needed to crush and squash, we squashed 20 years ago. And she's been good with me. And I think all of my other siblings have gotten to peace with that as well. But I'm looking at this thing, and the way things work in my branch, the branch I operate out of in my family, and unfortunately it's branched like that. We got big family, but they're segmented into branches, and unfortunately we're trying to close that, and it's crazy. Anybody that knows me knows how I am about family, but it is crazy, especially when you got somebody who has his own big family. It's crazy just how much has to happen when the family wasn't really reared together. So much that goes on with that, and I'm going to put it in a book entitled, and this isn't a push in the book because I'm not selling the book no time soon. I haven't even started writing it, but I'm going to put it in a book called Griot. And the Griot, from African history, is the one who tells the stories that reminds the family and the village and everybody of what happened in the past. And that was my great-grandfather. He was the griot, but I've become the griot. I'm the person that he passed all that down to. The only person that's left that he passed that down to. And in my branch of the family, it's not the oldest that takes on the leadership role. It's the oldest male. And in my branch at 56, that's me, which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I've been that for years. Years. I probably was the patriarch at 40, if I'm not mistaken. And it comes with a lot. It's not just about being the oldest guy that everybody goes to and he tells them what to do. It's about trying to create cohesiveness. It's about trying to initiate healing. It's about trying to be a good example in your fallibility and imperfection. It's about a lot. And I think losing my mom, and especially with me. Well, my siblings and I, we all look alike, and we look like her. Even my nieces and nephews look like me. There's this ongoing view that drives my baby brother crazy, is that my sister that's a couple of years younger than me, she'll look at my nieces and nephews, she'll go, that boy look like Ricky. And the thing is, my baby brother looks like me. He's just a darker version. And I look exactly like my mom, who looks exactly like my grandfather. So these genes are extremely strong. So when I'm looking in the mirror, or I'm staring into a camera like I am at this moment, I'm looking at a very strong image of what my mom looks like. And then when I started graying and she started graying, the crazy thing is she's 15 years older than me. We started graying around the same time. And so now there's a couple pictures we've taken recently, and her gray hair, my gray beard, and it's like, man, it's uncanny, the resemblance and the things we have to fight through. And man, you know, the one thing I did is I didn't hold grudges. You know, my grandparents did a great job of making sure that I respected my mom, that I loved my mom, and I just understood, you know, when especially by the time I reached when my biological father died, I was 14. I'm like, basically, I'm the age right now that my mom was when she got pregnant with me. It's like, there's no way that she was prepared to do anything. And then there's just so much else that went on in our family that, you know, I have to be, you know, aware of and acknowledge. And so we crushed it. And the time that I needed her the most, I mean, one of the worst times in my life, she was there. That's all I need. And so that's what I'm living on. But I'm concerned about my baby sister, because they had probably the closest connection. My baby sister definitely spent the most time around her, you know, in these last couple of years. And she's feeling kind of down and feeling like, and she did, I mean, above and beyond, but you know how it is. I try my best not to live my life with regrets. I try to do the best I can, and I measure and I ask myself, can you live with this? And if I can, then okay, at some point I will have to. And if I can't, I fix it. And so me and my mom's stuff were fixed. There's a part of me that understood with that dementia and how her health had declined. The suffering is over. And the thing is, she didn't die from the normal decline of dementia. She suffered cardiac arrest last night. So it was subtle, quick, and over. And so she didn't decline into the deepest parts of how bad this getting. If you've never seen anybody decline with Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia, it's not pretty. And so it wasn't the way you want to see a person at any time, but I just, you know, I guess I'm asking for some understanding. If I move a little different for a while, if I need to stay active, that's how I am, that's how I function. I've got to be active, I've got to be helpful, I've got to be doing stuff, so I'm not going to fall off the map, you know. But I might be a little emotional at times, I might be a little edgy at times. No matter how well you understand something, you're still human and you still have to process it. And I just want to ask for your prayers, ask for the prayers for my siblings and my nieces and nephews, my mom's sisters and brothers in Louisiana, and their children, and you know, for healing for this family. It's amazing to be sitting here and know what's ahead, and be thinking, man, I am literally my grandfather right now. It's kind of weird. I'm 56. My grandfather was 58 when he determined that he would take me and raise me. Well, when I was born. And, you know, so you're talking about a person that's about to retire. And from working in a few years. And here I come, and he and my grandmother, well, great-grandmother, took me and reared me, man. Made me the person that I am. Challenged me to be better. Told me I could do anything. Spent countless dollars on educating me outside of the scope of what was normal. And they weren't rich. They weren't what you would call poor, but they weren't rich. But my grandmother, entire encyclopedia section, World Book Encyclopedia, the entire volume, book after book after book. I asked for it and I got it, and I thank her for that. And then with my mom, you know, when I think about my mom, I think about the pride in her voice and the look on her of pride in her face every time she introduced me as her son. And I'm proud to say she's my mom. And she knows that. We've had this conversation before she started her decline, a long time before she started her decline. And I can say that I've never spoke a disrespectful word to my mama in her entire 70 plus years. 71 years. Well, she would be 71 this year. All right, no, she'll be 70. She would have been 72 in November. So, last night was hard. Just, you know, no matter how much you know, hey, this is coming, it hits, because that's a part of you that explains you that's no longer there. And I've dealt with this. I've dealt with death a lot. I've buried 3 siblings, all younger than me. My stepmom, who was like another mom. You got to think about how God covers you, because my stepmom had never met me before my father's funeral. And I was 14, and she had a bunch of his kids. Then there were some other kids by someone else. You know, that's the story of my dad, whom I've developed a love for, you know, posthumous, through the stories from my siblings and what I learned from my stepmom. But this woman came along, and you would have sworn that she birthed me. Now, there's a reason behind this that I'm not going to share today, why we were bonded and so close. It's crazy, and one day, if I don't tell it out loud, it'll definitely be in the book, because it's crazy. But she loved me, and I had to bury her the same year I buried my younger sister. In 2005, I buried my brother-in-law, and 2 weeks later, buried my sister. Last year, we buried my younger brother, all of them younger than me, a younger brother. And I mean, it's just been one thing, and I'll be honest with you, I just haven't been the same since I lost my pops, my grandfather, in 1992 on Thanksgiving. This time of the year has sucked, and it just seems to get worse and worse. I'm coming to get something. It has gotten worse and worse. Like I said, I buried my brother last year. My divorce was final of October of last year. It's just not been, good things have, just not happened during this time. And I'm not whining or complaining. I still think that I'm immensely blessed to be where I'm in this world. I feel that the people who have touched my life, even though they're gone, blessed me, and I'm grateful for that. So this isn't a complaining, but it's just talking about how I feel. Something that my great-grandmother told me when I was young. And I guess she saw me developing into this person with resilience and all the things I had to get through. I had to get through not knowing my dad, and then watching every dream and aspiration of knowing him going to the ground with him. I had to deal with other things that were going on. And she watched what I was doing, and I guess she saw the resilience, and she said, baby, nobody comes to the aid of the strong. And I have come to truly understand what she meant. You become the person that everybody goes to, and people just automatically assume that you've got it locked down, you're all good. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the time that I had with my mom. I'm thankful to know her enough to know what characteristics and gifts that I have that are a part of her. That beautiful smile, and the heritage, man, you can see it. The heritage of my bloodline, you can see it flowing in her. And that means you can see it flowing in me. And so I carry this. So on that note, I'm just asking that you keep my family and me lifted as we get through this moment. Be understanding with me if I'm moving a little different. I'm just trying to feel my way through it. This is the last parent. I don't have any grandparents, great-grandparents. Parent, this was it, and it's me now, and I'm the person that, has to figure this out. So just keep me lifted. On that note,